Good morning, one and all. How the devil are you? I pre-warn you, my speech will be a bit wobbly. No, I'm not drunk. I've just been very naughty and broken all the rules and not done what I've been preaching all weekend. So I do apologise, and I will no doubt go out that door at some point, but not right now. The reason for that is obviously welcome to the next stream. We are with the guys from Down Under. They're obviously in the future, and they've left me in the past, and that's why my eyes are like this, all puffy. So this is the next section. We will be running for about 4 hours or so. It's going to be a short one, this one. The guys have all got shocked faces because I haven't told them. I didn't have time. So the reason for that is obviously it is 5 o'clock something. I think Ian, you said, was it?
Yep.
Yeah, just after 5 in their time. That's 5 in the evening for us, people in the backward world. So they're coming up to the end of their build, which would be at 7:30, of course, on Sunday, the 10th of March. So before we find out just how they're doing, let me just explain to you how things are going to work. So we're going to do a little bit of chatting, a little bit of model making, probably quite a lot of model making compared to the chatting, I guess, depending on where everybody is in the build. I've certainly got to get my head down in more than one way to finish a few bits and pieces on this. I will finish sort of within the Australian time, but I will carry on fiddling with it throughout the weekend because, I'm enjoying doing it. So, and it's not about finishing with the time; it's about taking part. So, and then obviously once we get to the point that these guys are finished, then we can get onto the auction. So the auction will be after 7:30 your time, Down Under. Once we've done that, we've told everyone to put the tools down and all that sort of thing. And we'll do the couple of auction lots there are for the Australians. Then we're going to, at the end of that, for the rest of the stream, the streaming process, just so you know. So what we'll do is we will take a break. It will be quite a reasonable break because obviously I've got to put my head down. But the other reason for that is because Stefan, unfortunately, has been taken ill over the weekend. Nothing major. He's okay. He's just not well. So obviously sharing the hosting tasks and all that sort of stuff has been not as easy as we'd hoped. So that's fine. Get well soon, Stefan. So we'll take a break. And the other reason for that, of course, is Models for Heroes do a live show at 11 o'clock UK time, and that will still continue. So we'll take a little break, allow Models for Heroes to do their stream, etc. And then after they finish their stream, we'll then start again for the UK and Europe. Then we'll go through to whatever time it is, because I can't remember off the top of my head. And then the Americans will take over for their last section. And I have to tell you that obviously today, being Sunday, everyone's got auctions going on. So we'll do some auctions with the Australians, auctions with the UK, and then some more auctions, because I'm sure they haven't had enough, in America. It's auction day today and finish build day. So like I say, if you're building along, don't worry if you don't finish within the time. It's not a big deal as long as you take part and communicate with us. I believe the Americans are still live, so we won't, or potentially won't, have very many people with us for now, and I'm probably just talking to myself and someone else. There is a couple of people in the Discord group still. They just haven't managed to get to bed. It's a little bit like a pub closing time. There's always those two you can't get out the bloody door no matter what.
Yeah,
they're in there. Gary will be up in a few hours once the cockerel wakes him up. And he'll be in there, no doubt, with all the gang. So that's the plan for the rest of today, Sunday the 10th of March. Oh, guys, how are you doing? Let's start with Ian. Oh no, I fact enough. Like, what I'll do is I'll kick him out of the studio first. I'll go to him and say, Ian, how are you getting on?
Done.
It.
And as you see in the background, that's the first year's effort, second year's effort, this year's effort.
Wow.
Well, I've got to be honest with you, and when you say effort, take the camera back to the first year. Right, there we go. So that was the first year, lots of effort. Second year, I'm not sure if he was here very long, but he did it. And this year,
Oh, it's gone all blurry. There we go. Need a bit of light on it. Oh.
he's getting a bit of a collection. Do you see the difference in the progression? Normally the opposite way around, but never mind. It's okay. I'm being sarcastic. Don't worry. Yeah, lovely. That does look very nice.
Thank you. I'll be honest with you. It's a complete dog of a kit. Would not recommend it to anyone. But that's probably half the reason I didn't go. The original idea was to have it in flight, but the design of the cockpit does not allow a pilot to sit in there.
Right.
It's just a really badly designed kit.
Right.
So I had to forego that and just put it on the trolley. And then, put a US soldier looking inside the cockpit.
So you started off with a complicated build that you then made easier.
Yes. Plus having to repaint it didn't help either.
No, you have had some issues with it. You're right. It's not been easy. I am doing my usual.
The only thing I can say that I liked about that kit were the decals. Nice and thin, and they conformed really well.
Or finishing it.
Everything else was garbage.
Yeah. Well done. Well done, you. We'll jump over to Callum. Callum, how do you got on? Or getting on? Oh, I've done the same thing. Goodness sake. It's really easy. You press that button there. There we go. Callum, how you getting on?
Almost finished. So I've just been working on the trolley.
So that's right. Yeah.
Bit of chipping, bit of weathering. Not too much though. Not going to do too much about it. The buzz bomb is completely finished now. Almost had another disaster with it.
Oh God.
Decided I didn't like the satin finish I had, just because photos it was shiny and didn't really like it too much. So I decided to matte coat it, and the minute it dried, it went white. It did that wonderful thing matte varnish likes to do occasionally and turns everything white. So after walking outside for a minute or two, just to say some words that I'm sure the neighbor's toddler is going to pick up. They're not going to be happy with me. I gave it a very light sanding with a 3000 grit and cleaned it with water just to see what it looked like, and then redid the satin varnish, but very thin, and it has managed to lose any whiteness from the matte varnish. And then underneath, I've done I gave the whole thing a filter with Tamiya panel liner. Yeah. Which is, just cleaned it up a little bit more, and then given the underside a bit more, texture. Yeah. It's actually brought out the panel lines a bit better as well. So pretty happy with it. So almost wrecked it for the third time.
Well, no, I think the way to look at it is the model is saying to you, look, you could do better. This is what I think you should do, and it just gave you the opportunity to make it right.
It also taught me, once I'm finished and I think I'm happy with it, put it down and leave it alone.
A very good lesson to learn in any point of model making. You did right.
Yeah.
Oh, well done. I'm really pleased that both of you are finished. I'm saying that genuinely. I might come across sarcastic. It's not meant that way at all. because I'm not finished, obviously. But there's a reason for that. But that's cool. But yeah, no, brilliant. If it's going to be 3 out of 3, I am going to throw a tantrum. You know that, right? Mr. Marley, how are you getting on?
Getting there. So let me just show you. So I'm just moving some stuff. So this is the FX Red Arrows 48 scale Hawk from the mid-90s with a different decal scheme. So what I've got, swapping camera, is clear coat overnight. Decals started today. So that's starting to it's getting there. It's starting to look pretty good.
Cool.
But I'm not done yet. You can see I've got the nose gear on, but I've got the mains to put on, and all that remains really then is a bit of weathering. I have got some stencils, but nothing much. I've got say that many, and if I do them or not. So what I'll do is landing gear, sort of tart it all up a bit, and if I get back to stencils, I will. But we'll see. I've got a couple of hours still, but I'm not stressed. It's it's pretty much on track.
Don't be stressed. You're basically across the line. Well done, you.
Yeah.
So that's a 3 out of 3.
And just because I can, I'll show you like my first and second year. So the first year I did the 48 and 48. It was a a 77 squadron, Australian 77 squadron. Was that Hobby Boss Mustang? That's not here because it's sitting in the cabinet at 77. So that's I can't show you that. And last year's was an AMP Supermarine Supermarine S5. That's a bit out of focus, but that's not here either because it went in the bin about 3 days after because it broke. I was taking photos that day down near the water. The wind caught under the wing. It flew again after 93 years, and I couldn't get it back on, so I just went in the bin. But no great loss. I'll build another one day. And this one, so I think I'll get 3 starts, 3 finishes in 3 years. It sounds pretty good.
Very impressive, I must say. I think it's because you're all from the future. I got to be honest. I think there's an element there that comes across as cheaping. Why is that going on that? There we go.
Just show this is my one from last year as well.
Oh, guys,
Lindbergh kit.
The Lindbergh F86A. This is a 1949 tooling, so this is on the record for oldest tooling that I've built.
Wow.
Which is funny because the F86 first flew in 1947. So, yeah, this came out 2 years after the actual aircraft came out. And so I didn't finish it in time. It put up a little bit of fight in some areas. Although a lot of it is self-induced, the gold paint that I've got on here, decided I didn't want to buy any because I was saying, oh, wait, I've got some. It's Humbrol starter kit gold, the acrylic starter kit stuff. And I managed to airbrush it. It only took about 10, 12, 15 layers.
Yeah.
I'm never doing that again.
It's one of those paints that you start and you sometimes finish.
Yes.
Yeah. Well done, you. It's great. It's great you've taken part. It's great that you got to this point where you've got all these builds as well. So that's pretty impressive. I suppose I should show you where I'm at, really.
Yes. Let's see where you're at.
So obviously, I'm not making excuses when I say this, but obviously with Stefan being ill, a little bit more hosting than hosting than I anticipated. However, I'm very happy to where I am. I have sat up all night to get me to this point. You can see it's on a base, and then when I pick it up, they don't, but they will. No, they won't. Oh, look at that. Okay, cool. Maybe the wheels the back will fall off because they're not fixed and they're not finished either. So this is where we're up to. Hang on. Thank you very much. Magic button. So yeah, this is where we're up to with the build. It's gone for a bit of a wreck or a forgotten thing. What I will do is I will take the back wheels off because they are going to fall off at some point. So what I've done to this is I've attacked it with a electrical device. to get some nice holes through the metalwork there. This is not finished. This is just the start. So basically what it is, this little bar here unfortunately snapped. I glued it and glued it so it looked even worse than when it was snapped. So what I thought was the mechanic is obviously trying to rectify or bring back to life this tractor, and he's been working on this bit here, and he's put his shirt over it or a rag or something, so that hides that. But yeah, so as you can see, it was painted with rust colors on top of a primer, and then we put the blue on top, and then what we did is we put some chipping fluid over it, brought that back. So we got some of the colors coming through, and then I've attacked it with 3 different colors of pigment. And if you can get really in close, yeah, there we go. So you can see it's quite cruddy. Yes. It's right nice. The inside is as cruddy as everywhere else. As you can see. So we did a little bit, as I said, did a little bit of damage to the front here, did a little bit on this back here as well. And then if I'm very careful, because I'm just thinking to myself, I'm going to drop this in a minute. We've done the same effect over on the other side as well. So that side we got a little bit too carried away with, but luckily with the joys of pigment, you can hide some of the melted plastic because I use a rotary tool. And it's actually come up looking pretty well for what I wanted. So that's the front. And the front wheels have been stuck on. They will be rusted. I haven't, because you can just see the rust come through there from that red. It's much brighter red than it should be, but I've done that on purpose because I'm going to obviously bring it back down with the rust and oil and muck and whatever. So yeah, that's the build. It's been an enjoyable build, but like I say, I got a little bit more to do. I'll be honest, I'm not going to get this finished within the proper time period, but I will play with it a little bit longer as we go along. So the idea is that it will be sat on its wheels. I have got a couple of bits still to do, obviously. The steering wheel, etc. They're not finished, but you can see what I've done, what I've meant when I was explaining that this is basically before the blue's gone on. So it's a dark primer, some light rust, dark rust, medium rust, old rust, whatever. I've just been quite random with it because most of it will be hidden anyway. And then once you put the blue on, put the chipping fluid on first, let that dry, put the blue on, and then you can tackle it out to your heart's content. With chipping fluid, if you're not someone that's used it before, I've not used it that much, but you need to leave the layers to dry properly, both of them, before you start attacking it. However, the top layer, so the blue that's going to go on there, if you attack it too early, too much will come off. If you attack it too late, it'll be very hard to get it off. So it's a little bit of finding that sweet spot, which is there is no method or written down logic to that. It's just you have to play with it and see how it comes out. So there you go. That's my build. Yeah, I'm quite happy with it. With the blue, as you can see on the top here, we used a pale blue and a medium blue, a little bit of the medium blue just to darken it up a little bit. And then what we've done is once we've got all our chipping bits done, I've gone over it with a very pale blue to show a bit of fading in the paintwork. But this is probably my first proper attempt at doing this, and I'm quite happy with how it's come out. The joys of pigment really give you that crusty effect. So yeah, I'm quite happy with that. There you go. That's
very nice,
stunning.
right?
Absolutely stunning.
Looks great. I love that rust effect. I'm going to have to pick your brains one day because, yeah.
Yeah, no, it's I can explain it. It's really, really easy. I mean, literally, if you think about this, for example, this has got the different tones in there. If you can visualize where you want the rust and you can remember where you put the rust, and the different colors of rust, then that will make the process a little bit easier. Because when you put the blue on, obviously I can't remember where any of it is, so I just scrape away a little bit and try and find where I want that tone or that color. And what I've tried to do is I've tried to allow different tones to come through. But the reality is, it doesn't really matter, because what you're actually trying to do is trying to make that separation between where the rust will be and the paint surface that's not rusting. So once you've got that, and then literally, I'll show you the colors I've used. So these are the 3 pigments I've used. I've used a dark rust. This is so this company doesn't exist, unfortunately, anymore, but they used to do a 6-stage rust.
Wow.
So this is the first one. It's quite light in color. Obviously that's a bit for the new rust. Then I jumped from 2 to 4. So it's a little bit darker in color in rust. And then I jumped from 4 to 6, which is quite dark, which is the old rust. So using the pigments, all you literally do is use a little bit of pigment binder, this is the stuff I used. Lots of other things out there you can use, even water to a point. You put a little bit of that on the surface in which you want to put the rust on. Let it get tacky, would be my advice. And what I tend to do is I tend to get like, I don't know where that's gone now. So I get a little coffee stirrer like this, for example. And what I do is I literally get the pigment and I put a little bit on the end and I sort of tap it. So it falls off onto the piece that you want. You have to be careful because it is fine powder, but obviously it does get a little clumpy at times. So you might end up with a right big clump. So my advice is to make sure you've got plenty of paper or something underneath what you're doing to catch any pigment that falls past the model. And it gives you an easier ability to tidy that up. And all you do literally is start with the dark, put a little bit of that on, a little bit of the medium, and then by the time you've done that, by tapping a little bit on here and there, the binder should have got into the pigment and started to set it. And then what I would do is I just use a very loose brush like this, because you can probably see the pigment coming off as I'm doing that. It's all over my finger.
Plus, pigment destroys brushes too.
It does, absolutely. So yeah, I would make a cheap brush your pigment brush, and all you want it to do is you want to be able to push the powder down into the binder. That's all you're wanting to do. What you don't want to do is make that brush wet, because as soon as you make that brush wet, all the pigment in there will suddenly become solid, and you lose the fluffiness of your brush, and it stops the effect from helping. So I have a brush that's for the binding fluid. I have a brush that I then attack the pigment with once I'm confident it's almost dry, and all you're doing is just squeezing those clumps into the pigment binder. And then finally what I do is I go to the really light pigment and just put a little dash in there somewhere if I think it needs it. And then again, using your brush, just move it around, push it in there. Depending on how hard you push, depends on how crusty you get the effect. But if you want a crusty effect, you just keep adding a little bit more on, and build it up. And like I say, with this side here, this damage, that was done with a rotary tool, which is anything with a little bit of speed, like a drill or anything like that with a bit of speed. It will melt your plastic. So just be careful. You can work it to your advantage, but generally speaking, you end up with great big clumps of plastic that you don't really want. So you just pick those off. Don't clean it back too far, because obviously that gives you a really rough surface. And then on this side, where it's starting to get as bad as the front, all I've done there is just put a bit of pigment binder on top of the rusty colors that I'd managed to get through the chipping. And make sure I've made it as fine as I can, so it's just starting to come through. This has obviously been going for a long time. So there you go. That's it. This has actually had all all that work I've described done, and then I put a very thin coat of matte varnish over the top, which will help hold onto the model a little bit more. But obviously, you've got to be confident that the pigment has dried and the binder has finished doing what it's got to do, because the last thing you want to do is get your airbrush and blow everything you just put on there off, because that's a bit of a nightmare. So yeah, it's a really easy technique. It's not difficult, and it's great fun as well. You can do all sorts of stuff with it. What I might actually do is, when I do this cover, what I might do is actually show you what I'm doing rather than being over in the booth. I'll show you on here, and I can walk you through it. That's something I can do that's productive and engaging. So there we go. Oh God, a live demonstration. What am I like, idiot? So yeah, there we go. So we've got 6 people watching. Thanks for being with us. Zhao is there. He's saying a good job, Ian. Well done.
Thank you, Zhao.
Graffy is there saying the ochre is very impressive. Good day, fellow Kiwis, and a morning from the budget modeler. Morning, buddy. You're up nice and early. I'm not going to lie. I'm hoping you're going to come and join us at some point, because I am.
Shag? Is that the word you kept trying to come up with?
Shot was the word I was thinking of. Nice weathering there. Thank you very much. Elliot's there saying good morning. It is definitely. Yeah. And Bearded Veteran is still up. He says, wait. Yeah, it's your pet koala. Okay.
Hello, Mikey.
I don't know what that's about. Anyway. So yeah, obviously we have been raising some money for Models for Heroes throughout the weekend. I can tell you that the American guys have had an absolute blast this evening. Scott actually messaged me and said, asked me a question. I said, yeah, buddy, no problem, but I'm going to bed, so I'll see you in the morning. And then 5 minutes later, I found myself in the stream, and I stayed there all night. So yeah, it was fun. I'll talk about the American guys in a minute, but we've got Craig. Yay!
Hey,
hello, Craig.
Finally, I had to restart my computer.
That's all right. No worries.
How is everyone?
We're really good. How are you?
Yeah, not too bad. Just working on I just started the base. The Abrams. And just letting that dry at the moment. Bit of ammo goodness.
Lovely.
Terraform.
And I'll probably start working on the base for the M18 Hellcat while we're on, because I'm just about finished this one.
Cool.
Wow.
There you go. It's 4 and 4. God damn it. Next year, I'm not building with you. I'm going to make Steph do it or something.
You say
that's that. That's what it'll hopefully look like.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah, very cool.
I got to do a white line for the edge of the road and a few other bits and pieces, but some little Vallejo scenery.
Nice.
Tufts to go on the desert side. It's looking good.
Very impressive. Oh, excuse me, sorry.
Well,
you sound tired.
Since I finished my build, I'm going on with the build I'm currently working on.
Okay.
Cool.
And that is on the box for it, where are we? Nakajima E8N1 Type 95 reconnaissance seaplane, allied code name of Dave.
Dave.
Oh, Dave.
You're building Dave?
I'm building a Dave. And I'll tell you what, it's an old Hasegawa kit, but it's beautiful.
Oh, Dave could do with a new body.
And I got the Edward photo which I'm throwing in there as well. So yeah, all the interior's all done, fuselage buttoned up, floats all weighted. So I'm busy working on all the struts at the moment. There's a little bit of cleanup because some of the sprue gates are quite heavy, on the smaller strut, so that's going to take a bit of clean out. So that's what I'll just be fiddling around with this evening.
Cool.
Awesome.
Wonderful.
That's awesome. Absolutely awesome. Well, that's brilliant. Well done, everybody. Thank you, Mr. Marley. If you're clicking buttons, that's very, very helpful.
Yeah.
I am. Yeah. Anyway, enough of all that. Right. Let me.
Jeff had said he is hoping to come in about an hour.
Yeah, cool, Steph.
And
I appreciate it's early, but I'm looking forward to you being here.
Zal over in Singapore is saying he's not in the best of health, as we found yesterday. He's feeling very flu-like. We'll visit the doctor soon, but he's done with this build.
Oh, has he? Show us some photos, Zal.
Do you know, it's quite funny how many people have come down with the flu this weekend. Uncanny.
Yeah, well, you didn't think it would go through the internet. I blame the government.
Yeah. Definitely conspiracy, I can tell you. But yeah, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to make myself ready because I volunteered for something like a fool. You volunteered like a fool, I tell you. Right. This is where I wish I was a bit more Blue Peter and have one ready under the side. Yeah, just when you're working with pigments, just be aware they're a fine powder. So it doesn't take a brain surgeon to figure out it's going to be potentially messy. But if you get that pigment onto any surface,
it ain't coming out.
Well, no, it can come out. That wasn't more the problem, but it is incredibly transferable. So yeah, you know when you do that thing where you get something stuck on your hand, you're like, oh dear, you think you cleaned it up, but then you realise you've got it all over your light switch, your door handle, and you across your nose and through your hair. It's one of those sort of things. So yeah, just be wary of it, of pigments.
How's that stuff getting out of your clothes?
It does wash out.
Pigments, once you get on your clothes, that's it. It's there forever.
Yeah, no, it does wash out. You just got to treat it with kid gloves and a great deal of water, and don't scrub it.
No,
because as soon as you scrub it, you're pushing it into whatever the surface is. So,
yeah, a lot of my armor builds, I have pigment powder for dried mud, but it's not glued down at all. It's just I just mix it into a thick paste with water, and then slather it on, and then I just when it dries, I use like a towel or something, and just rub off where it would naturally rub, so it just stays in cracks and crevices, but it looks natural. I can always tell if someone's touched it at work though, because occasionally I bring my models into work just because some of my coworkers are into modeling, but I know when someone's touched it because there starts becoming complaints about brown fingerprints around the place that's not coming out.
yeah, that's it. Well, funny enough, I did something similar in that obviously I was doing all the pigment work, and I thought I must get up and have a cup of coffee. Made myself a cup of coffee. Thought I'll quickly wash up the bowl that's in the sink. La-di-da-di-da. Now, bearing in mind, before I left here, I got a cloth and I was washing my hands and all that sort of stuff. Done all of that and then turned around and picked up the cup of coffee, went to go walk out of the kitchen to notice that the switch on the wall was covered in pigment. So
yeah, that's going to make the missus happy.
Yeah. My darling wife has got up and made me coffee. Thank you so much, darling.
I will say that my wife thanks everybody very much for the time that I get to get up and walk around because I can make her a coffee.
Oh, wonderful.
And I think it's important to say also thank you very much to all the partners and all that and people that live with the modelers that have taken part this weekend and allowed them to take so much time out on on such a crazy project. So, thank you very much for that. It's very much appreciated, and it means an awful lot to not only the people that you support, but also the people that will be watching. So, thank you for that.
Mine's got the advantage of she has her own place, so she just hides out there and lets me just get on with it.
Yeah, I don't really blame her. I got to be honest. I do. If the shoe was on the other foot, I can guarantee that's exactly what I'd be doing.
Yeah, the minute it's always every weekend. It's like, so she says to me, "So I know what you're doing, so I'm just going to go off and do my own stuff."
Yeah, absolutely. Let me just answer this text.
Let her know I won't be around tonight.
Okay.
I might get myself in trouble.
Right, cool. Right, wake up, James. It won't hurt a bit, honest. I need something to stir that into. Steph is messaging me asking whether an hour was okay, and all I've said to him is, well, obviously I've got the guys here and Kylie with me, so I'm okay. But come in when you want to come
in. Zal is saying that he will post images of his build and he'll tag you and Ian.
Fantastic. Can't wait to see it.
Wonderful.
And thanks for joining us again this year, Zal. It's always good to have you hanging around, mate.
It is.
Yeah, it's good. It's good that you got involved. We appreciate it. Right, I need a bit of that and a bit of that, I think, possibly. Okay, so what I'm going to do first of all, I wasn't going to do this, but I might as well because I'm going to do it anyway. So, Miss Marley, if you, we'll be back in a minute, guys.
Okay.
No problemo.
So just cracking on with the build then.
Yep.
This should just a couple of hours left now for me. Was it 10 to 6? I've got an hour and 40 minutes, so I should be fine. Usual thing. If I had more time, I'd probably tart it up a little bit more, but I think it's looking okay. See how this bit goes.
Right, there we go. So, sorry about that. My mouse may have got pigment on it because it suddenly changed my screen into something that made it look like I couldn't actually see at all. Anyway, right. So, So what I'm going to do is I will go through the process I just described in relation to this pigment work. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to use some chipping agent. So I painted this with some rusty colours, as you can see. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to throw over that some chipping fluid, which I think I may have already done actually, but I'll do it again anyway. It won't make any difference. So I'm actually going to use this. This is unrolled chipping and scratching fluid. It works perfectly fine. I know it's got a roll on it. Many people will probably have shuddered just at the sheer sound of it. But it does work fine. Before we go any further, let's get a bit of air because we need air. Are we turned on? Feel excited. I'm turned on.
Right, different floats. The need is K1.
Okay, so those on as well. So just going to put a little bit of fluid in here. I don't need an awful lot because obviously we're not doing an awful lot of parts. We're going to throw it over these three bits. those two bits. So all I'm going to do is just lightly, just go over it lightly, making sure you get a nice even coat across everything, like that. Might be a bit stingy here with shipping fluid. A little bit over the steering wheel that we haven't done yet. That's fine. Just use the rest of this that's in here up. So it's effectively 2 light coats over it. One probably would be enough, but I put 2 in because I've got a little bit left in the airbrush. So that's that. Let me bring that over here too. I'll clean the airbrush quickly. That is my airbrush. It's not my stomach or anywhere else.
That's your excuse, and you're leaving with it.
Oh, that I'm definitely sticking with it. I wasn't doing anything else. So, now I've been introduced to this. This is called a hairdryer. I don't actually know what it does other than for hair models. So,
an eyebrow dryer for you.
It's not mine, obviously. I'm just going to go mute while I quickly dry this quickly with the hairdryer.
Sure. So a couple of comments. Griffey is saying we should get some of the USA hangovers in for a little bit. It's yeah, totally up to the American live stream if they wanted to join us. But what do you say, Ian, Callum, Craig? What do you reckon? Get them in?
Yeah, I don't care.
Not a problem.
Crazy Locher is saying, morning all, you wonderful people, and howdy everyone. And he's saying at Griffio, definitely a perfect wind down stream for me with a big grin. Wombat Thunder is saying g'day from Melbourne and Wombat Creek. G'day Wombat Thunder. That's pretty cool. And you're very welcome. Now, if you don't mind, gentle people, I'm going to just go and get a cup of tea or coffee or some such. I'll be right back.
No problem, mate.
I'll leave my camera on, though, just because it won't be long.
No worries at all. Okay, so I've just given it a very quick blast with the hairdryer. It is dry to touch, just about, which is cool. Obviously, I'm doing this quickly. You might want to leave it for a little bit longer and not force dry it. The reason is that you will have pooling in recesses and stuff with the chipping fluid, which may not have dried properly, but that's okay. We'll get around that if we come across that problem. Obviously, I've got my top coat color there ready to rock and roll. I'm going to pour a little bit of that in the cup. And then all we're going to do is we're going to paint as we normally would paint. Nice light coat. Build up your colour to the colour you want. Ooh. My trigger finger is a little bit overactive. And there we go. So that's got our base colour on it. While I've got this in here, I'll do the other bits as well, really later. Let's got that one done. Right, there we go. So we've got our base colour on there. So we'll clean the airbrush out very quickly. Obviously, just for clarification purposes, so the rough colours I used was a lacquer onto an acrylic primer because that's what I had, and this is an acrylic paint going on top of the lacquer. Now, the type of paint I'm using shouldn't really make a great deal of odds, in that you should be able to do it with one of those types, if or use both, whichever. "13 people watching." Okay. And like most things, if I'd realised this is what I'm doing, I would have prepared one piece for each stage so it will be quicker to show you. So bear with me while I just do this housekeeping. Although I don't need the airbrush, I don't want to leave it set in paint either. So that's done. I can put that away. That can have its top and bottom put on. Not necessarily in that order. And then what we're going to do, I'm going to mute myself again because I'm going to use the trusty hairdryer. Be back in a second. Right, we'll let that cool down a little bit, and I'll quickly go through the chat just to make sure we're up to date. I'm not sure where he got to, so forgive me. Right, so budget blah 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 blah. Yeah, blah, 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 blah. So should be getting some USA hangovers on for a little bit. Yeah, they'll be joining us shortly. Crazy Locos there, Mike, saying morning all wonderful people. How are you doing? Wombat Thunder's there saying good day from Melbourne, and Wombat Creek, good day. Black Hat Scale Models are saying back in from the US stream. Good to be home indeed. Yeah. Oh, actually, no, we're up to there, aren't we? It's already been done. Silly old Billy. Right, cool. I was paying attention, honest. Right, so now we've got to this point. We've got our top coat on. We want to reactivate the chipping fluid to bring that back into play, to take some bits and pieces off. So what we're going to use is a little bit of trusty H2O, nothing too bad. Now I've got a brush here somewhere if I can find it. And amongst all of this, not that one. Oh God, which one was it I used? Yeah, it was that one. Okay, so basically you're looking for quite a stiff brush. This is actually a brush that's got paint in it that's dried, and it's not the best in the world, but that's fine. or you can, when you get an old brush, you can cut one down, which is, I think that's the one I used actually. So all you're going to do is dip your brush in the water a little bit, take the excess off, and then all you're going to do is you're just going to run a little circle around the water on the surface, and then you're just going to carry on that motion until you can just see the paint fading off there. And all you do is you just carry on doing that to get the effect you want and the fading of, sorry, not the fading, the chipping of what you want. If nothing starts coming off, it's because your brush is too dry and the surface is too dry. And you'll fight all day long if you don't take a little bit more water. Try and keep the moisture to a minimum. The more moisture you put on early doors, the more paint you will take off. And what you can see I'm doing is I'm just trying to be random with the chips, although it's not overly easy for me. A nice short brush like that is nice because it gives you a little bit of barrier of the hair and the actual brush handle itself, which will give you the hard surface in which you're going to be pushing against your bit. I'll take this off the clip just to make it easier to handle. And what we're going to do is I'm just going to a little bit of water. I'm just going to carry on, like I said, reactivating, making some chips, etc., etc. Take a little bit off, and as you can see, because we've used different tones of color in our preparation, when we're taking the paint off, you can suddenly see we're getting different tonal differences here in the paint that we're removing. So we're not actually chipping. What we're actually doing is we're removing some of the layer of paint of the top layer color. And the reason for that is we're going to come back at it with some pigments in a little bit to make it all nice and crusty. So we've got a nice bit of blobbing going on. And what I'm going to do is on this side, I'm going to really attack it because I want to take it all the way back. I don't want this blue paint on here at all. I want to make it all the way back because I want to, this area I'm going to really crust up. Actually, I've just suddenly thought of something in which I could do to make it a little bit more exciting effect-wise. Not what I had in mind, but see, as you can see here, we've not managed to clear the paint that's there properly because we used a bit too much water. So get a cotton bud, just roll it over the surface, and all you're doing is just taking the blue away, not the paint underneath, because that's the only thing you've activated. Okay. Right. So as you can see, nicely brought back with a bit of tonal differences coming through with the rust. And then what we're going to do is all very much flying by the seat of my pants here. What is the best way? Oh, I know what I can use. Right, okay. So on this occasion, what I'm going to use is I'm going to use a file. What one can I use that's going to be best? So I'm going to use a metal file. I mean, as I said, with what I've done there, I used a handy little tool. But all I'm going to do is I'm just going to really get into this with the file. And you can see what I'm doing is actually not only scratching the surface, but what I'm doing is trying to break some of that plastic up by digging into it. I've actually gone through to the other side because I can feel it on my finger. So I've got a nice little hole there. And all I'm doing is just working the file around in a way in which we can make some damage. As I said, you're going to end up with lumps of plastic. All I've done is literally just run my finger over it to remove it. And then what we're going to do is make that a little bit bigger, that hole, because I want to really get in there to show that it's really basically falling apart. So here you can see I've got a little bit of plastic that's melted as I've been moving it around and stretched, and all I've done is I've just moved it to one side, but I haven't actually managed to break the plastic properly. So the bit is there. So to touch it's quite rough. Thankfully that's all I need to do. And to put the water away, we don't need that anymore, or that brush. What we do need is 3 pigment colors, a light, a medium, and a dark. This is where it all gets a bit of a nightmare. Like so. Now, what I need now is I need a little bit of a soft brush that we're going to use with the pigments. I need something to put the binder on, which I'll show you in a minute. So it's just a short brush. One other thing we might need is something to manipulate the pigments. Now, if you ask your girlfriend, wife, sister, they might have some of these. So these are just some sponge pads. They come in handy. Always good to have.
They call them sponge puds in New Zealand, don't they, Callum?
I've got one here that I've already used. What I would suggest to you, if you do use these, don't mix the pigments. So obviously you've got one at either end. Try and make one to be one color and one the other. If you forget which one it is, they cost peanuts, so throw it away and start again. And again, if you make them wet, they do become a problem, so don't do that. I'll remove that because that's going to be kicked over. So what I'm going to use as a pigment binder is this. It's pigment binder from Vallejo. A little bit of a shake. And so there we go. Right. So going back to our piece, as you can see, we've got the damage here that we're going to highlight into more crusty rust. We've made sure that any loose plastic is gone just by using our finger, and we've highlighted other areas, etc. One more thing in which you really need to make sure you do. Make sure your pet cat isn't in your room. That's the first task. You don't want it jumping up on the side and getting pigment all over and then running around the house. It'd be a nightmare. Yeah, so one thing you need to do, I've actually got an apron on to protect my clothes a little bit. I'm going to put some gloves on to protect one hand, because this hand I'm not going to use to touch the pigments. I'm going to use tools, but not anything else. So what we'll do is we will, if you want to do any shout outs or any comments at any point, Mr. Marley, feel free to do so.
Refill.
Right. I'm just going to go click on a couple of comments. I don't know if this was read, but I'll bring it up if it has been anyway. It's great to see how good modelers do this stuff. I've been doing this only a year at most, and the care you'll show for each stage shows me the way. It's very nice to hear. One of the things you'll find, none of us are ever going to criticize anybody at any stage, or you should get better right away, because all of us started somewhere and all of us love the journey. Hi James at Model. Hi James at Model Officer from Wombat Models. At Wombat, me also. Even in the 48 and 48, the lessons on patience have been immensely valuable from Crazy Locha.
Mm-hmm.
And he says, James, there's a great tip about the moisture level with the chipping. Thank you.
Yeah, so yeah, just be aware. Obviously, the longer you leave your paint to set, the harder it is to chip. Now, you can make that work to your advantage. If you just want very light chips, then you need to leave it a little bit longer because you're almost scratching the paint, making the chips yourself. That fluid's there just to help you. And as I say, don't throw loads of water over it, just a damp brush. You can actually do it with a cotton bud. You could do it with one of the sponges, if I'm honest. But obviously the cotton bud and the sponge are going to draw a lot of water, and a brush you're going to have a little bit more control over, potentially. So anyway, right. So what we'll do is we're going to, where should we start? I think we're going to start over here, and we're just going to do some very light rust on here. Now I am going to try and zoom in as best I can, and hopefully you can see what I'm doing. There we go. So bit of pigment binder, we get our brush, dip it in, and all we're literally going to do is put a little bit like that in the areas where we want the rust. All right, like so. Now that water you had to one side, really good to keep that, like I have here. You keep that because you can wash your brush as you go with the pigment binder or whatever, with the pigment. And that way you don't get that transfer of stuff. So obviously we've got light pigment, we've got dark pigment, medium pigment and dark pigment. I've actually got them in the wrong order, would you believe? I want that the other way around. The order of how you set it out is how, whether you're left or right-handed, whether it's easy that way or the other, makes the difference. Anyway, right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a little coffee stirrer, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick up a bit of powder, like so. And all I'm going to do is with my finger, which is out of shot, I'm going to tap the stirrer to allow the pigment to fall off the stirrer. As you can see, it's fallen off. And then all I do is just tip that upside down like that and drop any pigment back into the lid. Then I'll go back in again and do the other bit that I have highlighted without trying to miss it completely. Now, in this case, I've dropped it completely in the wrong place. Loads of pigment. Don't worry about that. Just tip it up, and you can, and it will sort itself out eventually. So we've done our first bit. Your stirrer. Wipe it on the side here. So you're going into the pigment, so it's with a clean tip. Get yourself a little bit of powder. Just repeat the process. Take your time. You need to be gentle, but you also need to be firm with your stirrer in your tapping. But how you angle it and all the rest of it will give you a bit more control. So obviously I've now got a clump, as you can see there. See there, I've now got a clump on the end of my stirrer. I don't want that going into the next pigment. So wipe that stirrer off. Now the next one would be the light, but I'm not going to go to the light right now. What I'm going to do is I'm going to have a quick look. As you can see, I've got pigment on my glove. Okay. So be wary of that because that will go everywhere. And then what we're going to do is we're going to get our brush. And all I'm going to do very gently is just tap it. Tap the pigment into where you're going. And you instantly see that you've just made all that pigment merge together. That you're pushing it into the binder, which is what you want to do. Let the binder do the work for you. Don't fight it. Now, obviously, whether we have this big clump, I don't want that in this colour. So that's why the piece of paper is there. And you just literally carry on tapping it until you're happy with it. So if you're looking for like a fine coating, and obviously push it down until you get that. If you want it, so there's a little bit of lumps in there, so you can see the corrosion coming through, like you have here. For example, you can probably see that just about. I've only tapped that a little bit just to push the pigment into the binder, whereas here, as I've given it a little bit more of a push, and it's now much more a surface covering. Okay, all you do is just carry on doing that very, very lightly with your brush. Don't worry if you've got pigment in the wrong place. And then what you do is you literally go to where your paper is. In this case, it's there. And I just tip it over, tap the hand, back of the hand with my clean hand. And that'll kick off any pigment that you don't need. What I am going to do is wipe that finger, because that will go everywhere. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the same brush. I'm not going to add any more pigment yet, but I'm just going to bring that pigment down the side here by just literally very lightly brushing the edge to see if anything transfers down. If it doesn't, and it's not giving you the effect you want, you can add a little bit more pigment. It's not a problem. So there we go. That's the first two bits there of pigment that we've got on there to simulate a little bit of rust. Now, we want it to make it look like it's got new rust coming through. It's not all just old. You get the lighter pigment, and again, you follow the same procedure we've just already outlined. And what we do is tap that very gently, a couple of sprinkles in there. That's all you need. Put the rest in the box. Grab your brush. And again, all you're doing is just pushing down the pigment to give that color variation, nothing more. And there you go. It's that easy, that subtle, and that simple. All right. So obviously I want to do this bit, which is really cruddy. So we're just going to use the same process, but we're just going to be a little bit clever in what we do. So pigment binder, where we've broken up the surface and made it all cruddy, we're going to put lots of pigment binder on there. Obviously, that is way too much I put on there. So just wash our brush, make sure it's not there. We will get a cotton bud, and we're just going to hover it over the top, take some of that pigment binder off, or move it around, whichever works for you. I'm doing both as I talk to you. Obviously, in the physical damage that we've made, we couldn't see our hole because it was full of fluid. So what we've done is just pop the cotton bud in there and it will absorb it all. So give that a couple of seconds. And then what we're going to do is repeat exactly the same process we did a second ago. I'm going to start with the old. I'll move the lid over so it's a little bit easier. And I'm just going to tap my finger like so. Very badly, missing everything that I actually want it where it to go. A little bit of pigment at a time, just build it up. Oh, way too much. Build it up until you've got a basic amount there. Then we're going to move on to our middle color, middle tone. And we're going to do exactly the same thing again. The problem is if you tap the finger too hard, it just goes all over your gloves, not over where you actually want it. So there we go. I think that's reasonable. We're going to get our brush and do exactly what we just did a minute ago, but we're not going to spend an awful lot of time on it. All we're going to do is just push it into the binder as best we can. So we know it's taking up some of the tackiness. Now what we're going to do, we just clean our brush as well, just to make sure there's nothing too much on there. And then what we're going to do very carefully is we're going to get a binder brush. Try and do it so that the fluid runs down your brush. And we're just going to add a little bit more fluid here and there, because we want to build that up. And again, like I say, that water comes in handy because you can clean your brush straight away. No binder on there, no other stuff. And we're just going to go back and repeat the process that we just did. Dark rust first. And what you're actually aiming for is you're aiming for those big lumpy bits that you had down here that you push down to actually soak up the binder and become a lump on the surface. And then we're going to go with our medium. That's a good example. Okay, so now what you can see there is you've got really big lumps of pigment, way more than you need. Okay, you are going to lose some in this process, unfortunately. That's part of the process. So just turn it over, give it a good tap. Some will fall on, but some will stay exactly where it is, as you can see. So that's nice and crusty now. Oh, hang on. There's the camera. Focus. Yeah, it's nice and crusty now. So we've got our dark old rust, our medium, it's getting there, getting to be old rust. We want to make it look a little bit more special. So what we do is we'll clean our end of our stirrer, get a little bit of that more brighter color, and literally one tap. Okay, that's more than one tap. A couple of taps, there we go, that's what I was looking for. We've got a little bit in amongst everything else. This bit obviously is not in the binder, so if you turn it over, tap your hand, it's gone. Okay, and then what we're going to do is we just get our brush and we're just going to very gently introduce a little bit of pressure to the crustiness of our rust. Very, very, very lightly. And the reason we're doing it that way is because we want to make sure that the binder has picked up all the pigment that's there. And if it hasn't, we're pushing in the different colors to make it some variance. Now, this is a good example of what I mean. So on the top here, you'll see, oh, that way, come on, wake up. So on the top here, you'll see, if I get a pointy device, just here on this side, the pigment has reacted just how you want it to. It's taken up the powder, brilliant. On this side, you will see that there is a glossy shine to it, which means you've not got enough pigment on there. Your binder is still there. Now, you can do one or two things. You can add a bit more pigment, depending on how you want the rust to be, or you can let it dry. Either or, it doesn't matter. In this occasion, I'm just going to let it dry because I'm happy with that result. But bear in mind, as you're handling it, doing other bits of rust around, that is still going to be active. Okay, so if you stick your thumb in it or whatever, it's going to be a bit of a pain. As you can see, I've been handling these edges and this hasn't moved. This is exactly how I left it at this side. So until that's dried, you need to bear that in mind. Now, the other thing in which I wanted to point out as well here, just on where this cap is, you've got a little bit of pigment that you didn't really want it there. So you're just going to use your brush and you're just going to almost without touching, brush across the top to remove that excess pigment away from what you're doing, and you've got the pigment all in the right place. Simple as that. What do you think?
Pretty
I
good.
think that looks amazing. As the Crazy Loacher says, I wouldn't want to miss a tutorial like this for nothing.
Very kind of you. But yeah, as you can see, Callum, it is that simple. It's not difficult. And the really good joy with this is, like I say, when you bite into the plastic and make the plastic into a corroded surface, if you like, you don't need to sand it back or anything. You just leave it so it's all gnarly, and it just means you'll use less pigment. So yeah, nice and simple.
Cool.
There we go.
Very cool. Love it.
A masterclass, James. Wonderful.
Well, I wouldn't go for that fast.
Scott Daniel, says good morning.
Morning.
That's where we're from, Scott, and you're very welcome. Nick Barger from over in New Zealand is good evening and good luck to the end of the Down Under builds, lads.
Thank you.
And Crazy Locho's saying he hadn't thought of doing the binded down first like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, what you got to remember is the pigment. As soon as you add a liquid to it, it becomes basically a paint. A very thick, pasty paint, but it is still a paint. That's what it's there for. So you need to allow it to get tacky rather than wet, which is a bit of patience. That's all. That's all it takes. Just a little bit of patience. Who thought I'd be doing that today? Not me. And the other thing as well to remember is that if I can't do it now because I've just gone over it, but if you make your somewhere wet with your binder, and you put a bit of pigment over, so I'm hoping that the binder that I put on this side is going to work for me in that way, but I don't think it is. It's too dry. That's cool. Yeah, if you got a very wet surface and you whack your lumpy pigment on top of it, what will happen is that the fluid will take on the color instantly, and if there's too much pigment, what it does, it will actually start to flow in that color, which can work to your benefit at all, as well as so. So there you go. That is the piece very quickly done. We've got a very highly corroded area this side, and obviously rust is attacking itself all over, generally anyway. Mainly in this bottom corner, because that's where the water would flow down and sit. So yeah, there we go. Done.
Very nice. And Crazy Locher is saying thank you, James.
You're most welcome. And then obviously just remember one last thing as well. If you could highlight that for me, just because I don't get pigment everywhere.
Sure.
Yeah.
So obviously that's the state of my glove. It's got pigment all over it. First thing I do once I put the piece down is remove it by making it inside out. You're keeping all the pigment in there. It's not in your hands. It's not on this hand. You got clean hands. All good and way to go. But obviously remember, looking at the desk now, we're in a situation where we have paper towel with pigment on. Once you've got the lids on your pigment, just very carefully fold your paper or whatever you're using into itself over and over again to not allow any of that to escape, and then get it in the bin. Don't put it on the side, put it straight in the bin, because you'll accidentally forget, and then all of a sudden it will be like a puff of talcum powder there. Right, so
and whilst you'd finish that tutorial, I'm done.
Yay!
Hey!
Look at that.
Brilliant.
Well done, you.
Yeah,
That's very nice.
It's all nice and glued down. Not going to go anywhere, hopefully. But I might make a base for it later on, but you never know. But, yep, 48 hours. Just made it because I started at the same time the Australians did, even though I'm 2 hours ahead. So
Yeah.
Yeah. 47 hours. Well done. That's very neat. Well done, Callum.
Cheers. Believe it or not, it's not the fastest build I've ever done, but it's much better quality than the last one I did in under 48.
That's the thing, isn't it? It's getting that quality.
Nick Farger is currently sitting in a hotel in Fiji, wishing he was at the beach, at the bench, taking part, not the beach.
He's at Fiji, which is at the beach.
At the bench. So Nick won the auction last year for a kit that I had donated, the Warramai Hornet. Had you started that, Nick? Have you had a time to find any chance to get that started? Let us know. And Crazy Lotra is saying, like barbecue, if you're not wearing it, you're not doing it right. Well, fair enough.
That's true.
Yeah. Painted some landing gear struts. Oh, there they are. Just wondering where they went. Right. Oh, Nick says it's still sitting in the stash. That's perfectly fine. I had intentions of having a crack at it for this build, maybe next year. Oh, maybe. It'll be a lot of work. They're fairly complicated kits. I've still got mine in the stash. I haven't got the. Oh, I have. I've got the standard Hornet A, B, C, D model. Yeah. If you don't know the difference, basically the Bs and the Ds are two-seat versions of tubs, as we call them, to the As and Bs, which we call the fighters. Yeah, but I've got an aftermarket Warramai scheme, which is the land where the local ex-Hornet base is on, the Warramai people, Aboriginal, of course.
I've got the latest one with the Operation Okra from Kinetic.
You picked that up in Canberra?
I did.
Well done, you. I did not.
Yeah.
I was somewhere else.
You're a little bit further away than normal.
Yeah.
Probably having a wonderful time.
Oh, I was having a wonderful time. Caught a very long flight to the UK. Had a look at the Telford Skull Model Show, and yeah, amazing.
Nice.
But Canberra, I'll probably make it this year because I've been told. Well, my wife and I were going to go back to the UK again around about nowish, but we bought a house instead, so we're putting it off for another time and working out where we're going instead. But
try and make it to Canberra. I'm going.
Yeah. I'll be there.
I'll be there. I'll be flying from New Zealand.
Right. Okay then. No pressure.
Not at all. I'm actually I'm a member of ACT SMS.
Are you?
Yes, I'm an associate member.
Very good. I'm just
Because
a hanger on, of course. I'm just on the Facebook page, but I do.
That's all right.
Plan to get down there.
But yeah, they for $25 a year, if you live outside of Canberra, you can join as an associate member.
That's all right.
Yeah. The biggest club in Australia.
Yep.
And
Is it really?
possibly one of the oldest.
Oh, doesn't IPMS Australia claim to be the oldest?
When did they start?
60s, in the 60s, I believe.
Oh, they could be the oldest then.
But ACT SMS is what was 50 years old, not last year, the year before.
Correct.
All right.
And I've got a commemorative coffee cup.
You do?
Yes.
I'm wishing I went and bought one now.
Okay. Nick
All
is
right,
also
now-
saying, also have to remember it's all about having fun. Maybe I
Yep.
should finish my Herc from last year first. Yeah, that's right. Hercs, yeah, they're lovely. Love them.
I nearly bought myself the Zvezda one with the Australian.
Oh, here's a valid question from Griffier. Is Mrs. Mac's giant sausage roll the best sausage roll? And over to the panel.
Ooh.
What do you think, James?
Jeez.
You don't know what we're talking about.
No, I don't know Mrs. Mac.
Yeah.
Mrs. Mac, they make great pies and sausage rolls.
Yep.
Gary Morris has just dragged his sorry ass out of bed. Oh, I'm sorry, different symbols out of bed, and then I shall be in the green room.
Oh,
Cool.
buddy.
The green room's on Discord. Paul Caridi is saying, "Hey crew, are there any auctions left? And what time, if so, Australian time?"
So
There
the
are. Have you, James?
yeah, so the Australian auction will be at just around about 7:30 this evening in Australian time, which isn't that far away, I don't believe.
I'm just under an hour.
Yeah.
Yeah, so in about an hour's time, we'll be doing the Australian auction. It's just to give the Pom the chance to finish his build and be like an Aussie.
Yeah, guys, I'm going to show you my tradition of every time I finish a kit. Cut the box
yeah.
Oh, okay. Let me zoom in on that.
and add it to the wall.
Oh,
Nice.
haha.
So let's see, he's going to go about.
Boom. It's a bit crooked.
I mean, you know,
Wow.
yeah. I totally don't have a problem.
No.
I think I counted the other week. Officially hit since. I think I've hit 70 kits built now since I already restarted. 70 or
Awesome.
50.
What time frame are we talking? 70 kits?
Since 2020, like December 2019.
That's impressive. I shudder to think how many I've made over the years.
Yeah, same here.
So we're moving into a new house in a couple of weeks' time.
God, that's a nightmare with your modeler.
Ugh. My wife, I told her about. We went to Paul and I, twin brother, scale modeling twins on Facebook. Just a random plug there. We went to the FX Visitor Centre, and they have a wall there that Dale's idea was. So I'll zoom in on me just for a moment. This is a. Oh, bear with. Come on. That guy. Yeah, so that's the back wall in the FX Visitor Centre. So I showed that to my wife, and she said, "Well, you could do that if you like in the new house." My jaw hit the floor, and I said, "Oh, really? Can I do the big FX meatball behind it?" She said, "If you like, it's your house." So that's really impressive. Every kit there is just so well done. And you can see the size of the Vulcan, the Victor, the Valiant. Like, they're the big 24 scale. I think it's the Hellcat, the Cardor Typhoon, around about the centre line there. And yeah, it's beautiful. But yeah, that's one up from Callum. So that's hopefully what I'm going to get going on, because it's the only place I can store my 48 scale Lancaster model that I've just done.
Hang on. So she said she put up no fight for you doing that in the new house.
Well, you've seen that meme of the lady's eyes rolling in the back of the head. Hey, when I tell the wife I bought a new kit and the eyes roll back and you can hear them groan. It's a bit like that. She's just like, yeah, whatever to keep him quiet. Thanks. It's nice to hear James not sucking up snot like last year, says Paul Caridi.
I can do that for you. It's not a problem.
Rory Brown is saying, morning, everyone.
Morning, Corey.
Nick Farger is saying, I wouldn't need a big wall for my box art. I think I have more started than completed. You're probably like a lot of guys here there. I mean, Nick, here to help. No, I don't have that many. Like half the kits I've got completed that I've held on to are some are sitting in Fighter World Museum down the road from us. Some are in Frontline Hobbies. They are local brick and mortar. So I've got them spread around mainly because I didn't have too much room until. Well, I still won't have too much room, but I'll make room by using a wall. Phil Abraham saying, morning all. Good evening to the Antipodean posse. Just fitted some fine chassis suspension parts to set up while I take the dog for a paddle. Oh, it's cold and wet in the UK. Who'd have thought? Andrew Measy saying hi from Palmerston North in New Zealand. Yeah.
Morning, Andrew.
You poor bastard.
I've been there. That's I'm trying to think of Woodburn. I think it's near there. Is that correct? Their Air Force Base. Morning all from Winchester, Hampshire in the UK.
Morning.
From Gary Marsh. Very welcome, Gary. Oh, sorry, I need to take it off me again.
Hogging the limelight again.
Yeah, well, yeah, not the first time, clearly. Where's my glue? Not that one, the other one.
Pig plane.
Uh-huh. Dum, dum, dum.
Another sprue bites of dust.
There we go. Andrew Measy's clarifying a Harkia is near Palmy. Woodburn is in the South Island. That's right. Yeah, Mulga Sound up that way. Yes, you're right. Yeah, no, I have been to a Harkia, but I didn't get up to tarmac. I just sitting with the aircraft, refueling it and stuff. The Hercules, a J model, which you had just bought. Heath. Australia had a couple of spots on the production line for you. We held them for years in case you wanted to buy them. But obviously the offer was declined and it's been taken up. It literally took 20 years. Like we're about to retire our J models and New Zealand have just bought some. And considering we're replacing our J models with new J models, all the detractors when the J came out and said, it doesn't have a flight engineer, it's not a good plane and stuff like that. It's certainly proved its worth. So, yeah, go to hell.
See, for us, it's got to be nice to, I see the Hercules and when they were flying them, the Orion, they fly around quite a bit. It'll be nice to see a Hercules that doesn't have smoke coming out of all four engines for once.
You're right. Yeah. Because no word of a lie, the cleanest part of an airframe of a J model is behind the engines. It's a very efficient engine.
Yeah, like we call the Hercules the old Smokies because every time you see them, they've got all four engines, they've got black smoke coming out of them, and I'm pretty sure they're still like circa Vietnam era ones.
They are. They're you've got the last of the E models before they went H. So they're basically H models with a GTC, a gas turbine compressor, and a couple of other bits and pieces before they fitted APUs, auxiliary power units. So you'd need to do an external. You could start. Doesn't matter. You can start an E model on the ground, but you can't run the GTC in the air to provide power if all the generators fail. So yeah, but that was the mid 60s. I think. Well, Australia was the first Herc customer, 1958. New Zealand came on not that long after.
And we kept using them.
Until, very recently. You were running E models, which Australia had retired in 2000. Not ours. You had your ones, and you did them very well. Good morning from Arizona in USA. Hello, Mouseworks TV. Good to have you. And Andrew is saying, yeah, many hours spent in the back of Hercs crossing Canada to New Zealand. Jumped out of one of those a few times. Why would you jump out of a perfectly serviceable aircraft? Each their own. Yeah, I do love a Herc. I said before, I worked on them for, E, H, and J model. Worked on for about 14 or more than 14 years. So I do have a soft spot for them.
Yeah, I think they're going to have the air quote new one down at Wings Over Wanaka this year.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so that'd be cool to go have a look at, as well as the new the Poseidon. They're going to be showcasing down there. Yep.
Yeah.
That's going to be cool.
It is pretty cool. I've got to admit, like Australia, we're not a large air force by any means. Like, we're as big as we can be without breaking the bank and all that sort of stuff like that. Because we are, we don't have too many threats around it. Let's face it. However, we have taken part in pretty much every conflict that we've been asked to. There's not many we've knocked back. And we've always had a tradition of, I believe, buying the best available at the time, which is why we had things like Sabres and, a good mix of aircraft. So the aircraft that the British, New Zealanders, and even Americans are buying now, like we had them years ago. So the E7 wedge tail, for instance, and now the Poseidon, like we bought the Poseidon years before the UK did. And even though like the UK had more of a requirement for them because they didn't have the Neptunes for years. So, I am proud of what we can do as a small force.
Yeah, because when the Poseidon first turned up, I have one of my sites is underneath the flight path for the airbase. Yeah, we're used to seeing the Orion and Hercules fly over, and you know just how fast they're going to be. And then the Poseidon flew past, and they were full throttling it, and it just screamed across. It was ridiculous how fast those things can go.
Yeah. Well, they're a cool plane. Andrew Measy is saying we had a Vietnam veteran a year ago have a reunion with the plane that took him to Vietnam. Wow, it's the same one. Still,
That's saying something.
It is. That's, obviously, no word of a lie. The Vietnam veterans are our generation's World War II veterans. I mean, they're of that age now, aren't they?
So, question: would the Australians have used the Hercules during Vietnam?
Yes, absolutely.
Oh, cool. That means because I've got a great uncle who actually lives in Canberra. After Scale ACT, I'm going to go see him.
Well, if he lives in Canberra, he's not that great.
But he joined the Australian Army after immigrating from Liverpool, and he ended up in a parachute regiment and went into Vietnam. So, yeah, he jumped out in Vietnam, which is a stupid thing to do. He said the first time he actually landed in an aircraft was like 1990 something.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Before that, the only time he ever went into a plane, he was jumping out of it. So
madness.
Yeah.
The Australian involvement with the Hercules in Vietnam. The very last aircraft of Western forces out of Vietnam was an Australian E model Hercules with I think 298 people on board.
Jeez.
I can't remember the actual number. I could look it up, but it had the record for many, many years as the biggest number of people on an aircraft. There were, I think there were. I can't remember the numbers. I think there were 23 people or so in the flight deck, and they're not a huge. They are large, but they're not a huge cockpit. So they would have had people lying on the floor around them and everything else. It's a remarkable aircraft, and I think we broke the record when the J model is 4.75 meters longer than dash 30 is at 4.75 meters than the standard Hercules. You got a standard Herc 730, then you got a dash 10, which is a certain length longer, dash 20 a certain length longer, dash 30 is like front and rear plugs. So we had, I'm trying to think, additional 28 seats, or carry 128 packs instead of 73. So no, it's more than that. Yeah, and we were able to get more people in. So with the Banderace tsunami in 2004, we then broke that record of having people on board, and there were photos of it. Like, you know, these people absolutely, they look, you know, so relieved to be alive, really, to be on these aircraft, both the Vietnam ones and the Banderace ones. So that's why I love the Herc, because most of what I did was humanitarian and helping people and saving people and stuff. So I love it. I love a Herc.
They also just look good.
Yeah, they do. Well, it depends. Some people think, oh, it's got props, it's a piece of shit, but yeah.
The gunship one looks really good too.
Yeah. Lumps and bumps.
It's hard to argue with something that's got a 40 mil, 105 mil, and a couple 20 mil rotaries.
No, that's true.
That's true. Thinking.
Steady, that's dangerous, you know.
No, I'm just wondering, like, you know, seeing what time I had left. I got pretty much 37 minutes. You know what? I'm going to put these decals on. No, first things first. Paint me some nav lights. Ah, Theron Hampton is saying hello, everyone down under from Denver, Colorado. Just joining you for a little bit. Just
Theron, the old bean. How you going? Oh, pretty sure I've met Theron.
Just got done with a 7-hour show on the USA feed. It was a really good show. Yeah, it really was. Yeah. Welcome down under for a bit. Sorry, that scrolling thing at the bottom really should be the translation, but it's the best we can do. Short notice. Yeah, Theron and I we're friends on Facebook, so his name pops up quite often, and I'm always happy to see his name pop up. Seems like a hell of a nice guy.
He is. He's a brilliant guy.
So, yeah, in the final sort of, well, bit of this show, look, I'm going to put in another plug. I don't have a YouTube channel. I haven't uploaded anything myself. I have a YouTube presence in that for the work and the help I do with Models for Heroes, but I do have a Facebook page. So if you wanted to see what I'm up to occasionally, just sort of bending plastic, and it's very occasionally because it's only, you know, it's not if I have time. It's just, I just do it. I don't have a schedule. I just put up things when I want. But it's on the screen. There's Scale Modeling Twins on Facebook. My twin brother Paul and I love this hobby, and we get on the phone and we yak about it all the time and stuff like that. And I thought, well, my profile's private. If you wanted to see what, if people wanted, if they were interested to see what I was doing, I thought I'd have a separate public page and stuff like that. So if you want to follow that, be my guest. But it's, as I say, public. You could drop in, drop out whenever you want. But yeah, you'd be most welcome there, and free to post builds as long as it's modeling related. Feel free. But yeah, it's not great work, as I'm the first to say. I'm a decidedly average modeler, but I just love the hobby so much. I'm not going to stop. Thank you very much. I'm going to keep going.
And you're going to keep talking as well. James, go to bed.
I will be very shortly.
Hi, Steph.
Don't call me
Steph.
short. Hi, Ian. Hi, Callum. Hi, Craig.
Hello, Steph.
There we go.
Bed.
Ta-da! My build is finished.
Cool.
Hey.
Hey.
Well done. Very cool. Congratulations.
So very, very simple and quick base.
Wow.
Oh, hello.
Looking stunning, mate.
That looks excellent.
Very difficult to get this right.
That's amazing.
Fantastic.
There we go. And this piece is the piece that I did the little demo for you on, etc., etc. There'll be some pictures up in the mess. But there you go. Done.
Cool. Nice
Happy
work.
days.
Awesome.
Happy days. Ooh. I will be taking you up on your kind offer, Steph. But before I do that, I will talk to the world, but also be explaining to you what's going on. So, as you're aware, the Australian guys and the honorary Australian started the build at 7:30 on the 8th of March and had until Sunday the 10th at 7:30 in the evening to finish their builds, which we all have. All 6 of us have finished. That's brilliant.
Yep.
I think that's probably the first year everybody's finished, certainly from my side anyway. So that's all brilliant. What we're going to do is once we get to 7:30 by Ian's watch, that's obviously the end of it completely. Of the challenge anyway, but then there is a little auction that we need to go through. Steph, are you all right to do that? It's only a couple, isn't it?
Oh, good Lord. Drop me under it.
Yeah.
Go on.
Right, okay. Steph will sort out the auction. It isn't that many lots this year. We did go for a quiet spell, but there are some very nice things there for you to grab hold of if you can. So dig deep and try and grab yourself some very nice bits and pieces. This stream will not run for the 8 hours because obviously I need to go to bed to start with. But more importantly, Models for Heroes will be doing their stream at 11 o'clock, and I want them to have everybody go there, not be watching us. And also because Steph, one of the European chaps, is obviously not very well, so we're going to try and make the section that we've got to cover a little bit smaller. So give me a chance to go to bed and get a little bit of sleep, and then obviously I can come back with the UK and European contingent through till 7:30 at night, where we would then do an auction in the UK for the UK lots. And then after we've done that, we'll hand over to the Americans and they'll finish off the event in their time zone with their auction as well. So the timings on the videos that are set on the Model Officers YouTube channel might not be correct. So you might wish to subscribe and press the bell icon for notifications, and it will keep you up to date as and when they come up. There you go. That's me.
No worries, buddy. Enjoy. Have a good sleep.
I will do.
Quickly
I'll be here.
before you go.
Yep.
Drum roll. There you go. £936 so far, 31% up.
Wonderful. Okay.
Americans do in their second auction.
So just bear in mind that is the total of the Just Giving page. So that's all the money that people have just given. Literally, it's exactly what's written on the tin. Yesterday, the American auction raised about $1,800, I think he said. And this evening, they have taken About 2003, I think it is.
So around about $4,000.
So that they are basically $99 above their target that they made.
That's fantastic.
I can't remember how much they is. I got to be honest. I think it was I can't remember. Mr. Loco's there. Crazy, you might remember when he was there. He might put it in the thingy. But yeah, so basically, they decided. I think it was 5,000 they wanted to raise, and they're $99 above it. So they've got one more auction to go, and they've got some very interesting lots in that auction. Some very high value lots as well. So they're obviously going to smash their target, which is absolutely fantastic. And then obviously the money we raised from the auctions, the other two auctions in Australia and the UK, will add to that fund. So it would appear that we're going to beat the target as well. So yeah, it's all looking very, very good.
There you go.
Right.
Just over 5,000 in US auctions over both nights. Thank you,
There you
Crazy.
Thank you, Crazy. Thanks, Mike. I'm going to go silent, Steph. Thank you so much for stepping in and allowing me to throw you under the bus. I'm just going to have a quick cigarette and then I'm going to dash off, okay?
Cool.
Thanks, James.
Thanks, James.
Cheers, mate.
Take care.
Crazy Laker also says they're raising the goal because why not? Why the hell not?
Why not?
And Mike has chucked another 20 in. Thank you very much,
Oh,
Mike. Hit the like bell, ring the bell, hit the like button, ring the bell, and get notified of the rest of the streams. And wash your hands, nerds. So, does anybody know where we got to on the comments?
We're up to date.
Oh, wait, so we've done Andrew Measy.
Yes.
Right, cool, up to date. So, Ian, what time is it with you?
Sorry?
What time is it with you?
7:02 in the evening.
Right, so we've got a bit of time. Cool. I can get a bit of modelling done then.
Yes.
Well, chatting away and keeping an eye on the old jobbers, as I do. So, should we go around it? I haven't seen your models yet.
Yeah, you haven't either.
Let's quickly go round. Let's start with Ian.
Hello. Okay,
Yeah.
so this is the Red Arrows 148 scale Hawk from Airfix, a mid-90s release. Done in a commemorative scheme for 100 Squadron's 95th anniversary. So coming up the home stretch, I believe it's a semi-gloss. I believe I'm going to leave it as a semi-gloss because apart from, it's a commemorative scheme, I reckon it's probably about right, actually. Not knowing the original aircraft. I do love the big skull and crossbones underneath the undercarriage there. That's pretty cool. So all I've got left is I haven't finished. I'm very close. So colour in the nav lights, colour in the pitot probe, a bit of sort of dirt and stuff around the undercarriage, and remove the masks, and just about there. So I'm on track. I reckon I might get this done.
Excellent. That's what we need to hear. So looking really good, mate. Well done. John McMullen, evening from Kiwiland. Evening, John.
Hey, John.
Hope you're doing well.
Hey, John.
Ian.
There you go, all finished.
That looks great.
Wow. Nice.
It's a beast of a kit. I don't think I'll ever attempt another Bren gun kit again. It's just, fought me the whole way. But I'm glad it's finished. So now I'm just plodding along with the Nakajima Dave biplane, Japanese biplane float plane. So, yeah. With one of my favourite tools.
Ooh.
Oh,
I got one
do
similar
tell.
to that.
Well, you know when you need to like get the flash off rounded or round parts,
Yep.
like tubular parts. You always, if you use a knife blade, you always end up with flat sections.
Yeah.
That's what this is for.
Oh, very nice.
And sold by Voyager. So it's just a photo etch piece that they sell. And I think it cost me about $5. And also, if you can see the holes in the middle, you can run a sprue through them and create bolt shapes because they're hexagons.
Oh, cool.
So, yeah, it's a very handy little tool. And I've been using it a fair bit tonight because I'm working on all the struts on this little biplane I'm working on. So that's what I'm up to.
Nice. I do like that tool. If you can send us a link for that, I want one.
Yeah, sure.
Yes, Steph loves his tools.
Oh, God, yes. Got so many. Looking really, really good in. Well done, mate.
Thank you very much.
A couple more comments. John says, nice.
Nice.
Paul Caridi says, Ian, what's it called? I think he just told you. And the Craft Station UK, good morning from Scotland. Morning, Lisa.
Hello, Lisa.
Morning.
So let's move on to Callum.
I'm another
Nice.
one that's finished, all done, with an hour to spare. So, cradle's done, buzz bomb's done, 3 crises are averted with the buzz bomb. So yeah, happy it's turned out. Yeah.
So you happy with your seams?
Give it a week, I won't notice them. Nah, it's all fine. It's all good. I like it.
Good. As long as you're happy with it, that's the main thing. Well done, you. And last but by no means least, morning, Craig.
Hey, Steph.
How you doing?
Well, what I've done, I've now finished the Abrams, and I've partially finished the base for it.
Oh, fantastic.
Oh, yeah.
I can go maybe turn it around that way, might be easier. And
That looks stunning, mate.
thank you. And show and tell, that's the one that I've got, like Ian's.
Oh, you got one too?
Yeah, this
okay.
one's called a gun barrel grinding tool.
Yep. Who makes that one?
It's got Stephen Chen or Chan signed on it. So I got it from B&A.
Yeah, I got mine through B&A.
But here it goes from sort of 20 mil all the way up to 155 mil. Actually, bigger than that. These are bigger than that. It doesn't give you what size they are, but yeah. It works all right. I've used it on a couple of barrels.
Cool. They look good, they do.
I've
Nice
just
work.
now been working on my little. If I can get a bit of light on him.
Oh, nice. Looking good,
That's
mate.
the commander for the M18 Hellcat, and started working on the base for that.
Oh, lovely.
3D printed wall and tree stump.
Yeah. What do you use? Resin or?
Yeah, resin.
Yeah. I think most modelers use resin.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
FDM is too much aggro to clean up.
All good.
Graphia says, Cool. Thank you very much, Craig. Graffiti says the paint on that is great. So well done, Ian.
Thank you.
Theron says, can you post a link to that device that Ian was talking about, please? Thank you. Oh, you've started something, Ian. There's going to be a rush on those now.
Well, I've just had a look. They're selling one on eBay for $5 Australian.
Oh, that's all right.
That's a Voyager TEZ 058 scraper tool.
Let's have a look. Voyager what?
Voyager TEZ 058 scraper tool. So Voyager models.
Note taken.
Let's have a look. Okay, it's not in the UK.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that was from B&A in Australia.
Right. I just had a quick search in the Bay.
Well, Gary's probably looking up. Oh my God, what's that site he's on all the time now?
Theron, I just sent you a link.
AliExpress. Maybe have one.
Yeah, what was I up to? Scraping.
Right, nothing in the UK, so it looks like it's going to have to be something like AliExpress or somewhere. We've got them in Oz, but it's just going to cost. It's not worth buying them. Okay, they're only $4.50. Get them from Germany for €3, but that would be twice as much to get it sent here.
I had a kookaburra in the background here. I don't know if you could hear it.
Yep, just. We've been getting because this time of year we get the mega flocks of cockatoos flying over.
Oh yeah.
Oh God, that is really noisy. When you got like a couple of thousand cockatoos just screaming their heads off as they're flying overhead. Just going to drop off for 5 minutes and have a quick breather.
Yep, not a problem.
Stretch my back a bit. Oh.
Same for the others. If you need to stretch your legs, remember, take a break. Have a Kit Kat. There are other chocolate bars available.
So, do you mind if I throw in a word for the Models for Heroes live session, Steph, or would you like to?
Yes, I do mind. You gave me the opportunity to turn you down.
Okay, so I'm remaining quiet.
No, fill your boots.
Okay, so what happens 3 times a week? Steph, John, Mel, a couple of other people drop in and out. Basically, volunteers for Models for Heroes provide an online live YouTube / Facebook session for people that couldn't get away. It started during COVID, from what I understand. Is that right, Steph?
Yep.
Basically didn't want everything to stop. So that's carried on because I wouldn't say we get big numbers and we don't do it for the numbers. Well, certainly I'm a guest. I'm very much a guest. But what we're going to do is on Mondays and Wednesdays, it's going out live. It's a closed group, goes to the beneficiaries and other volunteers of the charity. Actually, look, I'll change camera for a moment while I'm talking at you. And Sundays, what we do is have an open session that goes basically out to the world. Again, we're not after numbers or whatever. It's just basically to promote the charity and what the good people do there. So at 11
time.
11 a.m. UK time, which is 10 p.m. Australian time, which is midnight in New Zealand, and other times in other places of the world. This continuous stream will stop for probably about, the sessions tend to go for about 2 hours or so. And what we do is basically show people what we were working on. We've got interaction with the comments as we do here. We play, there's a game we usually play called Sprue or False, where we hold up a random sprue from a random kit. People need to try to pick the brand, the scale, and the subject matter, and see who comes in first. No prizes or whatever, just basically bragging rights. And a great part of it, and the highlight of it, is what we call sit rep, where we look at everything that all the other volunteers and beneficiaries are doing and what's on their bench and what they're working on. And there is some incredible stuff there. With people, if they have any questions, they can ask how do you tackle this and all that sort of stuff. And I look forward to the sessions every certainly the Sunday ones, the ones that are open, because the sit rep is the highlight of what it's all about, really, is the work that the people that are in the charity are doing. As I say, noon UK, 11 a.m. UK time, 10 p.m. Australian time. If you go to Models for Heroes on YouTube and then click on the live button, it'll be there. And you can feel free to join us and comment away and all that sort of stuff like that. We'd like you to just experience what we do as a regular Sunday. As I say, it's not part of this particular stream, but it's very much part of what this stream is all about.
Yep. Thank you very much for that, John. Oh, Lord, I haven't been up long enough for my drugs to kick in, so my get up and go has got up and disappeared.
Gone up and gone.
Well, I was going to say something else.
John McMullen is, what time is the Aussie auction, guys? Need to know if it's past my bedtime for the 5:30 a.m. train to work tomorrow. It's going to be after our finish time, which is
in about another
10 minutes.
10 minutes.
So, yeah, it's going to be very, very soon. So you'll be able to make your morning train. Theron Hampton is saying thanks so much, and Paul Caridi is saying it's $4.50 at B&A.
Yep. You're welcome, Theron.
$10 minutes. What will I do? I just need to I'll clean up this canopy. I'll keep doing
that. John McMullen says, cheers.
Boop, 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 boop. Ooh.
Weird.
Zell's just posted a picture of his Volkswagen. Stunning job, Zell. Looks great.
Let's have a look. Paul says, Ian, can you show us your palm vacuum cleaner that you mentioned on OTB?
I can.
Right, let's stick in full screen. There you go. Oh.
That's a great little tool with a on-off button on the side here. And you just got little brushes on the bottom. It's great for cleaning the bench. I picked this up at Canberra a couple of years ago at the Canberra show. And I can't remember how much it cost, but it wasn't super expensive. But it's a great tool for cleaning up your bench.
That's the one I've got.
Give me a sec. There we go. Oh,
Yeah.
nice.
It's like a big mouse.
Yeah. I think Trump had to make it, or one of their little companies.
So that means it's going to be 3 times expensive as you get for the civvies or for non-modelers.
Yeah.
And my one's made by a company called Hobby Mio.
Ah.
M-I-O.
Nice. I might have to invest in one of those little ones.
Very handy, I'll tell you that.
Very handy tool to have.
Nick Farger says, is there a list anywhere of what's up for auction this year? Yes, there is. It will be coming up in 7 minutes.
7 minutes.
Paul says, great, thanks. And Nick says, a clean bench. What is that? I don't know, mate. Don't ask me. Mine's always the shithole. Right, I'm going to have to go and get a cup of tea because I'll end up drying my voice out.
Okay.
I will be back in a second. I really hate saying this. It's really going to stick, but Mr. Marley, you have control.
What? Okay.
We could be so lucky.
Theron is saying, well, gentlemen, have a great show. Good luck with your raffles. I'm going to bed. It's almost 1:30 in the morning here, and we have a time change in about an hour. So good night.
Oh.
Thanks for dropping in,
Theron.
Thanks for watching.
And hopefully we'll catch up again soon.
Wonderful. Oops, I've changed camera so I could see what I'm doing.
Actually, John, your story about the your silver paint accidents just reminded me of my own paint accident I had recently, which I'm mentally blocking at the moment. Is this? I was doing some practice painting on some figures, and I got the I was using AK acrylics, and I haven't used them in a while. So I had this. My Hornet was actually behind, where I've got the computer set up at the moment. That's where I usually keep it all. So that was just sitting there and all that, and I'm working over here, and the paint hasn't been used in a while, and it was coming out a bit slowly, and I didn't realize there was a blockage in there. And then I just squeezed it a little bit too hard, and pink highlight paint went across the desk, across my phone, and across onto
Joe.
my Hornet.
Okay.
Somehow got on the other side of it as well. So I was trying to clear that up because this is enamel paint. This is acrylic. I can't clean it. I couldn't clean it off in time, so it's dried. I have to respray this whole thing now, which is annoying because I don't have the color anymore. I have to go out and buy it. So that's kind of it killed this build for a little bit, but it just reminded me I got bloody pink paint all over my Hornet.
Yeah, right.
I'm sure the neighbors heard me through the wall on that one.
4 minutes to go, guys.
Thank you, Nick.
Yeah. Does look very good.
Yeah, once I've painted the sides and fixed up all the sides, then I'll glue the tank down. And it'll be right. Actually, it's going to be good because this will be going down to Canberra show. It's one of the it's one of the special categories. Yeah, it's one of the special categories this year. Is this kit?
Is that right?
Yeah. Well, we're counting down 3 minutes. 3 minutes.
Wrong way.
Right, and back. I have a cup of tea. The thing that will cure everything. Had a bad day, lost your arm, have a cup of tea. Also, what I have to say is, over in the UK, it is Mother's Day. So, happy Mother's Day to
Happy Mother's Day to everyone in the UK.
Yep.
Scale Modelers Supply. Let's go. I'm finishing the 48 hours, guys. Oh, is that actual
Thanks,
SMS?
Scott.
Thanks, Scott.
Oh, is that SMS, is it?
It is.
It is.
Is that the top bod? Ooh.
It is.
Hello, Mr. SMS.
He's a fantastic gentleman.
Are you fanboying?
Me? No, I don't fanboy like you.
Not me.
Gary Evans. You get all wet when you see him, don't you?
Oh, moist.
Right then, ladles and jelly spoons. You have got 15 seconds until it is 19:30 in Australia, in your locations. And you can put your brushes down. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and time. Well done, guys.
Congrats, everybody.
Well done, everyone.
Nice one, guys.
Very, very well done.
All the viewers at home, thanks for playing.
Yes.
Nick Farger says, no, Steph, it's whiskey that fixes everything. Oh, God, no. No, I'm not a whiskey drinker. Sorry, Steph, autocorrect got me. No, you're welcome. I'm used to it. The best one was I got called Stephen Knightley, which is, no. Anyway, Black Color Model says, great work, everyone. John McMullen says, good work, team. Yep, well done, folks.
Thank you.
John.
Really, really well done.
Thanks, guys.
So then, I do believe if people are ready, it is auction time. So I'm not sure if postage is no, postage is not included. I'll read the rules. These are for the UK, but they are very relevant for you guys. So, only bid if you're in the region of the auction. All lots will have a 5-minute timer. We will mark in the chat with start and finish. We will also give you a 30-second shout in the chat. What we see as the highest bid will be the final decision, and the postage will be arranged. Okay?
Yep.
I will put in the details for payment in a second. Where are we? Nick Farger says, well done to the Down Under crew. Right,
Thanks,
here
Nick.
are the payment
Thanks, Nick.
details. Oh, I can't count. I can't spell either. There is the detail in chat of where to send your payments via PayPal. Right, ignore that last bit that says postage is not, well, postage is not included, but ignore the £5 bit. James or somebody will get in contact, or myself will get in contact with you and say, hello, thank you for your bid. It's really awesome. You are a superstar. This is how much it's going to cost. What else do I need to say? Oh, yeah, gents, if you can be quiet during the auction.
Yes, that's a good excuse for me to go and get some food.
It's a good excuse for you to shut up.
I'm about to get a cup of tea. I'll be back in a minute, Steph.
Do you want me to? Oh, also, guys who are in the studio, if you want to bid on your own YouTube or Facebook accounts, please.
Yes.
Yep.
Don't worry, I've already locked my wallet away in a secure place. It's safe.
It's not your wallet, it's your fingers that's a problem. Your wallet just has to do what your fingers tell it to do. Now, if you lock your fingers away, even better.
Where's my knife?
Right then, folks, from Hobbies Australia, Magic Factory Bradley, M2 A4 in 1/35th scale. This is this the Israeli fighting vehicle? The IFV?
No, this is the one that it's the Yanks, isn't it? Like the one they just sent to
right.
Yeah, Ukraine.
Yeah, cool. Right. So this is what you're bidding on. So Wombat Model says, I think it was 560518, 45 people on board, including 32 in a cockpit. What is that about, Wombat Models?
John was talking about something about that with the Hercules a while ago.
Oh, right, okay. Well done, all down under, says the Scale Armourer.
Hey, it's Nick.
Thanks, Nick.
Oh, is he an Aussie armourer? Hey, I'm an armourer. Hey, I'm an armourer. I was an armourer. Jim's in from the Windy City, Chicago. Good morning, he says. Good morning, Jim.
Morning, Jim.
Bloody time change has me tuning in late. No, you're not late for the auction, mate. So if we're all ready, yeah, what you'll have to do is you'll have to excuse my spelling. So here we go in 3, 2, 1, start. So we've got the first auction up and running. This is what you're bidding on. The Magic Factory 135th Bradley M2A4 IFV, kindly supplied by Hobbies Australia. God, I wish my drugs would kick in. Oh. So, let's have a bet. Okay, Craig Everton is in with 35.
I am.
Oh, he's in. He's there. Oh, Black Hat Scale Models has gone 40. Remember, as Crazy Loco says, bid like you mean it. Oh, Craig's back with 45. Black Hat, you've been knocked off top spot. So there's your top bid, $45 by Craig Everson.
Score. Whoa.
55 by Black Hat Scale Models. God, I'm in my shed and I can't even find me pig and pencil and bit of paper. That'll do. All right. Oh, Craig Everson is back with 60. Black Hat is back with 61. So Craig's just had his bid knocked off by Black Hat. Black Hat is winning with $61. That's Australian.
Yep.
So let's see those bids come in. 2.5 minutes to go. Oh, Craig's back in with 62. And Black Hat is giggling away. So who's Black Hat? Do we know? I'll take that as a no then, guys.
No, I don't know.
Yep. Sorry.
Ah,
Mystery.
mystery man. He's a weirdo, says Black Hat. Craig's giggling away. So, still 62. You've got 1.5 minutes left. Coming up. Oh, Black Hat's gone 70. Jim Aldecott, is this the first item in the auction? Yes, mate. Black Hat Scale Models at 70, and Craig's answering Jim saying, yeah, it is. So we've got 70 Aussie bucks, less than a minute to go on this 135th Magic Factory Bradley M2A4 IFV, kindly donated by Hobbies Australia. If you guys can please keep quiet in the chat while the auctions are on, that'd be brilliant. And 30 seconds to go. Very quickly. Dave Skelly says, morning, brave souls. How are we doing? Avoiding the caffeine crankies. Right, we're in the auction at the moment, Mr. Skelly. So if you can please keep the chat down to a bare minimum. You're down to 10 seconds. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and stop. And the winner is Black Hat.
Well
done. Thank you very much, Black Hat. 70 Oz dollars. That's Black Hat. And if you can send the details, send your contact details to the email address we posted up earlier, which is it modelofficer@gmail.com. Send him all your details and he will send you the postage and everything else, and we will get that off to you. Well done.
I'll make it easier for you. If you PM me the details, I've been asked by Hobbies Australia to pick up the kit. So I'll be doing that on Monday or whenever it's ready. So if you can PM me your details, because you got in touch before, I will get this to you.
Right. But John, we still need his details.
I'll pass it on.
Yep, if you could, that'd be brilliant. So yeah, we need those. So congratulations, Black Hat. Thank you very much for that. So where are we? Craig is saying, well done, mate. Oh, Mike's in. Hello, Crazy Loca. Locha. This is Gratz. Black Hat says, cheers, Craig. And it also says, will do, guys. Can I talk again after being told to shut up? Or was that the dog being told to shut up?
That was the dog being told.
Right, congratulations there. So let's swiftly move on to the second lot, which is again from Hobbies Australia, the 172nd Scale Academy US Navy PBM5A Mariner, which will be released in the next couple of months. So this is an early preview, I believe. And is it coming out in the RAAF colours?
That's correct.
Yes, it is.
Oh, so there you go. You get to own a preview kit. Oh, that's nice. I wouldn't mind a bit of that. So One Back Thunder says nice model. Just did the M3A3 version. Excellent. So, are we ready for the next one? We are going in 3, 2, 1, go. So there you go. This is a pre-release kit. This is something that is very rare to get in here. We've had a few recently released kits that have been released in the previous couple of months or so that have been kindly donated to us, and we've never had a pre-release on here. So Craig's in with $25.
Oh, very nice.
That'll be a steal if he gets it there. And again, thank you to Hobbies Australia for donating this. Yep. Paul Caridi is in with $30. Craig's back with 35. Come on, guys, bid like you mean it. Oh, Columbus Models is in with 40. So come on, folks, get your bids in. We're up to $40 for this. Oh, Mr. Marley in with 50. All right, he's outbid you, Craig. Okay, came back with 45, just as Mr. Marley came in with 50. So, come on then, folks. This is a one-off model. Columbus Models 55. Dieter's just said morning, lads. Dieter, please keep the chat down. So, Columbus Models. Black Hat says, watch out for snipers. I love snipers. Snipers are brilliant. Just under 3 minutes to go on this auction. 1/72 scale, US Navy, PBM5A in RAAF markings. This has not been released to the public yet. So this is a rarity. Hobbies Australia, thank you so much for this. This is this is a first for us. We've never had a pre-release kit on here. So get your money out. Get your wallets out. You are coming up to 2 minutes and 10 seconds. Now. So we've got the bar set by Columbia Models at $55. Less than 2 minutes to go. So I can see there being lots of bids at the end. Yeah, my eyes on that Black Hat. He seems like a bit of a sniper. Well, less than a minute and a half. So, it's all gone deathly quiet. I can see Craig's hand poised over the number pad. 1 minute to go. When I did the American one last year, those were not, you could actually see everybody with their hands over the keyboards and they were hunched over, ready for the sniping. 40 seconds to go. Thirty-second call. Ten, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Stop.
Congrats, Callum.
Columbus Models took. Is that you, Callum?
Yes.
Right. Okay. I need
Yes.
to subscribe to them.
Well done.
Good one.
Nice win there, mate. That's going to be quite a beat as well, isn't it? 176.
Yeah.
I love the Mariner.
Yeah. Gratz, I'm very jealous. Cool. Nice. Right, so that went 455 and it went to Callum.
Yes, thanks to Hobbies Australia.
Yes, thank you, Hobbies Australia, for donating that. That is awesome, especially to get a pre-release kit like that. It's unreal. Black Hat says, nice buy. Thank you, Hobbies Australia. I think there's only been one you. Right, next one. We have the 148th Westland Seeking HAS 1, 5 and HU5. This is a new tooling. This is supplied by Metro Hobbies. Thank you very much, guys, at Metro Hobbies. This is awesome. This is meant to be a really, really nice kit. So let's get it underway in 3, 2, 1, go. So only released, what was it, late last year, wasn't it?
Yeah,
Or was
it
it
was.
early last year? Yes, it was released last year. And
It started November, I think.
Yeah. Craig's in with 40.
Oof.
Paul came in a bit late with 30. So Craig's in there with 40 for this kit. 148th Westland Seeking from Airfix. Kindly donated by Metro Hobbies. Thank you very much. Nick Farger has gone 50. Craig's back with 55. So keep those bits coming in. We've got 28 people watching this. I wonder how many have got itchy fingers. This is the third of 4 lots. We've only got one more to do after this one. So under 4 minutes to go. Oh, Craig's outbid himself with 60. Is that a preemptive strike? Oh my giddy aunt, Nick Farger, bang, $70. Craig's back in with 75. Oh, this is where it gets really good when you've got 2 people who want it. Three minutes remaining. 3 minutes left to get your bids in. The winner at the moment is Craig Everson with a leading bid of $75. Kindly donated by Metro Hobbies, the model, not the $75. With this 148th Westland Seeking HAS 15 and HU5. New tooling released November last year. Less than 2.5 minutes to go. Oh, Nick Farger's back. $80. 2 minutes to go. Oh, Craig's in with 85.
Mm-hmm.
One minute 30 left. Craig Everson is leading with a bid of 85 for this. Airfix 148th Western Seeking HS 15825. Kindly donated by Metro Hobbies. You've got 1 minute remaining. Yep, and I've just kicked loads of stuff over in my show. Yay! I think this might be a bit of a sniping session towards the end. $30 seconds to go. 15, 10, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. End. And we had Craig came in with 95 at the last minute. Thank you, Craig. Oh, that was a nice one. 95 from Craig.
Thank you.
Thank you, Craig. Well done, bud. And the last lot. This is awesome. SMS, again, a great friend of the channel, always supplying stuff. We absolutely love their stuff. We have got paintbrushes, we've got snips, we've got sanding sticks, we've got clips, we've got paints and an airbrush. You have got the whole bundle there. This is going to be a cracking lot. Nice anti-sniper move, says Crazy. Nick Farger says, good stuff, Craig. Right then. Start up again. So, we will start in 3, 2, 1, go. So, this is a great painting bundle from SMS. You've got paints, you've got an airbrush, you've got sanding sticks, you've got clips, you've got snips, you've got paintbrushes. So come on, folks, get your bids in. Bid like you mean it. Yes, Crazy Loca, the check's in the post. Oh, Nick Farger, straight in. $100. That's a great bid. Gee, John McMullen, $150. Wow, thank you, John. Oh, that's a great bid, that is. Thank you very much indeed. So this is a lot from SMS, the Scale Modelers Supply. You have paintbrushes, you have snips, you have sanding sticks, clips, paints, and an airbrush in this bundle. We've got 32 people watching, and you've got 3 minutes left, folks. Get your bids in. This is at 150 from John McMullen. Oh, Nick Farger's come back with 175. Oh, Mr. Marley coming in with 180. Ooh. 2.5 minutes left. We're halfway through this last final lot for the Australian auction. It is kindly supplied by SMS, the Scale Modelers Supply. You've got paintbrushes, snips, sanding sticks, clips, paint, and an airbrush. This is a great bundle. Oh, bang, $200, Nick Farger. Thank you very much, Nick. Great bid. You've got 2 minutes left, guys. So get your bids in. This is a cracking lot. This is kindly donated by SMS. You're down to 1.5 minutes, folks. 1.5 minutes to go. You're getting paintbrushes, snips, sanding sticks, clips, airbrush, and the paints. Everything you see in that picture, you're getting. That's a hell of a bid. What's that? £10 in UKGB? 1 minute to go. Sorry.
£10 threepence.
Oh dear. Yes, I still remember old money. So come on, get your bids in. This is a great lot, this is. "30 seconds to go." "15 seconds. Up, John McMullen, $205. 10, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, stop. Give that a second to settle. And yep, Mr. McMullen has won it at $205.
Well done.
Well done, John. More clips.
Thank you very much, folks. That's a grand total of 425 Aussie bucks you've just made us. Thank you very much indeed, folks. Really,
Thanks, guys.
Really appreciate it.
Well done.
Yes,
Well done.
Very well done. Nick Fargett, that's a stunning steal there, John. Well done.
Well done. I believe that John McMullen won the SMS auction last year, and he actually donated it to me in me trying to start up a Models for Heroes here. So I've still got the box of paint over there that I haven't touched, and I sent him the clips and the sanding sticks and he asked for it. But well done, John.
Brilliant. Well done, John. Thank you very much indeed. That's a brilliant win there. Crazy says, great assortment. I use several of those items on every kit I've built since I won a previous version. Fantastic. John's like, bedtime now. And he says, well done all. And good morning, John Marley from Jim.
Good morning, Jim from Chicago.
And John says, correct.
Yay.
Jim, Ian, how's the ochre going? Right, so before we go to Ian, what I'm going to do is quickly go round and have a look at what everybody's done in Australia. And then we're going to knock this on the head. And the UK one will be back at 12 because we're going to be doing the Models for Heroes show at 11 a.m. GMT, or Zulu time, as we used to call it. We would love to see a lot of you over there. We just have a chat. We do sprawl faults, and then what we do is there's a section called SITREP, and that is to highlight the work that the volunteers and beneficiaries are doing. So please feel free to come along and have a look what your donations and money you've put in actually does. It's awesome that you do that. Thank you so much. Quickly, Jim says V1 is looking great, Callum. And says, thanks, Steph. Nicely done auction. Thank you very much, Crazy. Right, let's go around in no particular order. Ian's not his bench, so we'll start with Callum. Hey up, Callum.
Yeah.
So if anyone hasn't seen it, V1 Buzz Bomb, all finished. And I've just been trying to find an appropriate color base for it. I have, these are all wood flooring samples. When my work was renovating in the office, I found a box with about 200 of these samples in it. So they didn't have a use for it. I did. So I use these as bases if I'm not going to build a diorama. So that one's going to go on there like that.
Perfect.
Nice.
Very good for travel as well when it's glued down.
Mm-hmm. So that'll be coming to Scale ACT?
Possibly. Still trying to figure out what I'll be able to bring that won't be, broken. I mean, we've already heard the horror story from Nick about what security did to his turret.
Hmm.
What about what happened at the show to that turret?
Oh, yeah, that as well. That's a fast way to die.
Ooh. If Nick had actually seen it.
What happened?
Okay, you've piqued my interest now. You've got to tell the story, Callum, because I don't know what happened.
Well, with the turret at the show, someone was... Craig, you'll need to help me out here. Someone thought it wasn't plastic.
Yeah, and was tapping on it and nearly knocked off the figure that was on top and the seagulls that were around it. Tapped it really hard too.
Yeah.
Wow.
And then when he was going through security, he was in one of the boxes going through the X-ray, and security were far from gentle with it, and it ended up rolling around. The figure came off. Everything on top of the turret came off, and when Nick was, very distressed and made that clear to them, they kind of just went, what are we going to do?
Yeah.
So, you should have seen the texts I got from him after that. Oof.
Oh, I'd have said, right, I want your boss here now. Get your boss here. I want to report you. You don't treat me like that. No, that's bang out of order.
Yeah.
Oh, I'd have gone apoplectic. Absolutely. Just because they don't understand something doesn't mean they can be dismissive like that.
No, that's right.
Yeah, so whatever I bring is going to be... Yeah.
Sorry, go again, Callum.
Whatever I bring to ACT will be well glued down.
Yeah. The thing is, though, if it had been somebody... Now, this is going to be a bit contrary. If it's somebody who, let's say, example, was... Okay, the best one I can think of is transgender, and they misgendered them. Oh, there'd have been an absolute uproar. But because we're a geek and we're a modeler and they don't understand us, they think they can treat us completely differently. And it's just unfair. It's not fair at all. Anyway, that's my little rant over. So let's quickly move along. And he's back at his bench.
Yeah,
Hello,
sorry, guys. I just finished eating half a chook.
Nice.
Was it alive at the time?
No. So got the Bren Gun Models Ocker Model 22 finished. Not the best kit. No locating pins. Weak details. A terrible fit. Had to repaint it when I had a bit of a disaster with my paint, but I got it across the line, and that was the main thing.
That's looking
Looks
great.
great. It looks great.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah, that looks really... You've done an awesome job on that, mate.
Thank you.
You'd be a brave pilot to get into that, wouldn't you?
Yeah, a very drunk, probably very drunk pilot.
Yeah.
Yeah. Lots of sake.
Yes.
Oh, hell yes.
Now, that is
I have to say, I actually have seen this exact aircraft in real life.
Oh,
Yes,
nice.
They've got this exact plane at, this exact suicide bomb at the Uva Hazy. Was it the Smithsonian of Dulles?
Right.
Okay.
And,
I'm sure there was one at Pearl Harbor when I was there back in.
Mm.
Oh,
but this is the rocket powered, the jet powered one, not the rocket one. So this one actually they never used.
Would you say that kid had lots of sucking too?
Yeah, so I've actually modelled it as one of the US occupational forces having a look.
Yeah.
Mm.
Great job.
Thank you.
It's a brilliant job. Thank you very much. So let's move on to Craig.
Okay. Tamiya 148 M1A2 Abrams. Just going to turn this around. All finished. And I'm halfway through finishing the base.
Nice.
Fantastic.
Absolutely brilliant job.
Yeah, thank you. Great kit. Recommend it. Really, I recommend it. It's a really great kit.
Well done, you. That is awesome. Thank you very much, Craig.
No
Thank
worries.
you for participating. Congratulations on the lot win.
Thank you.
And hopefully we'll see you next year.
Definitely will.
Brilliant. Thank you for that, Craig. Well done. Same to you as well, Callum. Hopefully we'll see you next year. And you, Ian.
Oh, definitely.
Absolutely, I'm going to be here.
Good.
Definitely.
And finally, but by no means least, Mr. Marley. How you doing, bud?
Hello. Bit of product placement here. Thank you to SMS for sponsoring this event. Wonderful. This is, I use SMS paints on this,
Yeah.
and they are.
Thanks,
really
Scott.
nice. So this is the FX Hawk T1, the BAE Hawk from about mid-90s or so, as a commemorative scheme of 100 Squadron 95th anniversary RAF. And as you can see, it's all nice and shiny and stuff, because I believe I haven't seen the actual aircraft in real life, but it probably is like in a at least a semi-gloss, because it's a jet. Beautiful. Actually, the kit is not bad. I didn't struggle. There's no fit issues or whatever. There's things, if I had more time, would be a little bit nicer, like the wheel wells and all that sort of stuff like that. But it's all together. It looks good. I do love the big sort of skull and crossbones there. He's a bit distorted because half of his head is on each door, but really awesome. So that's apparently like a pirate flag. It's on the tail. Just give me a sec. That was apparently, the story goes, that was flogged by the 100 Squadron crew or pilots or whatever in World War One in a French brothel. So good story, that. The only thing I haven't done is that many stencils, and you'll forgive me, I ran out of time, but let's call it done, because it really is. Delightful build, always fun to be a part of this event.
Excellent. Well done, John, and thank you very much. Let's catch up on the chat, and then we'll bring the stream to an end. So, bits of chit chat. Where did we get up to? Jim just asking Crazy what he won in last night's auction, and then Crazy responding with the IDF Bradley and the D&S attack aircraft book. The nightmare, says the scale armor. Jim's going back to Crazy saying, good stuff. I freaking fell asleep and missed most of it. Oh no, mate. You finished well, Ian, says Crazy.
Thanks, Crazy.
Jim says lots of sarking, perhaps a rifle butt too. Oh yes.
Yes.
Crazy says nice job, Craig. Dieter says the Oka saw wide use in the closing months of the war and wreaked havoc on the landing campaigns indeed, even if the trick was to shoot the carrier plane. They came in so low, it was difficult to get onto those in time too. I can talk now, right? Yes, it's finished. Crazy Locust. Craig says to Crazy Locust, thanks, mate. Crazy at Jim. If you haven't seen the rest of last night's auction, make sure you watch it. SMS, my pleasure, guys. It's been great popping in and out, watching all your build progress. Thank you very
Scott.
much.
You're
Thanks,
a legend,
Scott.
mate.
Love the look, John. And Jim says, Crazy Loca, I'll have a look later today. Dieter, no, nice finishes on the bench. Yep. So,
Thank you, Dieter.
if you'd like to bring your face cams up, gents. Lots of wibble and wobble and seasickness time. Yet again, we're waiting for Mr. Marley.
Oh.
Right then, thank you from myself and Models for Heroes for your sterling work over the weekend. You've been awesome, absolutely awesome.
Been a pleasure.
I am living proof that it works. If
Yes.
it wasn't for Models for Heroes and my wife, I wouldn't be here, mate. I'd be swinging somewhere. And that is the honest God's truth. They do an amazing job. And Malcolm is such a nice, unoffensive giant of a man, literally and metaphorically. And the work he's done setting this up is just phenomenal. So once again, on behalf of Models for Heroes, well done, guys. Thank you very much. And well
Thanks
done
for
to
having us.
everyone. And we look forward to seeing you next year. Or maybe even, I don't know, I might get an invite at some time. Quick look. Go.
I want to thank John for the invite. Thank you very much.
My pleasure, mate. You're awesome as a co-presenter. I think, I'm really glad I picked you. There's a couple other guys I'm sorry who couldn't make it, but thank you for making our stream more enjoyable. And Callum, great to meet you. Ian, thanks again.
Hey, no worries, John.
Not a
Had an
problem.
absolute awesome weekend.
Yeah.
It's a lot of
We did.
fun. Yeah.
And it just goes to prove that you can bang a model together in 48 hours.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Because I bet you damn well that most of us procrastinate.
Oh, of course
I
we
know I
do.
do.
Glad I'm not the only one. So, guys, if you'd like to say your tatty buys.
So just a reminder before we go, the Models for Heroes live show tonight, Australian Eastern Standard Daylight Savings Time is going to be at 10 p.m. local. So if you want to tune into that and see what your money is going to help provide and the interaction and what the volunteers, as Steph said, what they're working on, it's a wonderful catch up of some very talented people there as well. So please come and join in and watch the show. It's open to the planet on Sundays once a week. So you'll see Steph there, you'll see me there. There's two other regulars. Malcolm pops in. He does the Sunday shows. James will be there. Great place to hang out. More than welcome.
Thank you very much, gents.
No worries.
Stay safe.
Thanks
keep
for having
modeling.
us.
Thanks, guys.
Enjoyed it, and look forward to doing it all next year.
Yeah,
Bye, everyone.
sure.
Bye.
Bye.
Cheers.